The Indian origin of certain English words is obvious. Take avatar, chutney and jungle. Most Indians would know these words as Indian. But I bet you would be surprised by most, if not all of the words that I'm going to talk about in this video. It is not immediately apparent that they have roots in this part of the world. Would you like to know these words and their stories? Keep watching. But first, if you're new here, do like, follow, subscribe to The English Nut on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Thank you. In this video, I'm going to talk about words that India gave to English and other languages. Think of them as a nation's gift to the world. Some words I'm sure you are familiar with, like sugar and jackal. And then there are exotic sounding words like patchouli, which may be new to you. But whether the words are ones you use every day or not, you will likely be surprised to learn that they were born in India. The Portuguese arrived in China in the 16th century. They gradually settled in Macau on land leased from China's Ming dynasty rulers. They called the Chinese officials they met Mandarin, a word they got from the Malay word mentari, meaning minister. You see, the Portuguese were also colonizing Malacca on the Malay Peninsula at that time, which explains the Malay language connection. Does the Malay word mentari sound familiar? It should, because it is derived from the Sanskrit word mantri, which is widely used in India. The word Mandarin, which comes from Mandarin, started meaning not only the Chinese officials but also the language they spoke. And even today we refer to the Chinese national language as Mandarin. Perhaps because those Ming officials wore yellow robes, a type of citrus fruit was also given the name Mandarin. Colorful birds and animals that were encountered by the Europeans for the first time in that part of the world also got the Mandarin tag. Mandarin duck, for example. All that is fine. But who would have thought that a word so intrinsically associated with China would have an Indian origin? A mongoose is a small, feisty mammal known for hunting snakes. Have you read Rudyard Kipling's short story about an Indian grey mongoose called Rikki Tikki Tavi in the Jungle Book? The name Rikki Tikki Tavi is based on the chattering sounds the mongoose makes. In the Jungle Book story, the brave mongoose kills a pair of cobras and saves the lives of a family. Panchatantra, the ancient Indian book of fables, is the inspiration for Rikki Tikki Tavi. The word mongoose is derived from mongoose, the Marathi word for this mammal, or one of its equivalents in other Indian languages. Originally, mongoose was spelled mongoose with a U. The plural of mongoose is mongooses, not mongeese, just in case you were wondering. Here's a sweet word from India, sugar. It comes from sharkara, the Sanskrit word for sugar. The word passed into Arabic, Persian and Latin and eventually into English. When Persian king Darius I invaded the Indus Valley in 510 BC, he got a taste of cane sugar, the term for sugar extracted from sugarcane plants. Today, India is one of the largest producers and consumers of sugar in the world. The latter is not necessarily a good thing, as sugar is increasingly being linked to health problems like obesity and diabetes. Perhaps it's no coincidence that India has been dubbed the diabetes capital of the world. Sugar was known as white gold at one time, as it was so rare and valuable, particularly in Europe. In 1309, cane sugar cost 2 shillings a pound in London. This was a worker's entire salary. At a banquet held in Venice for King Henry III of France in the 16th century, the tables were laden with plates of sugar in his honor. Let's treat sugar as if it were as rare and precious as it used to be. By consuming less of it, we can protect something that is far more precious, our health. Do you remember the Panchatantra tale of the blue jackal? A jackal that lived in a jungle once strayed into a nearby village. Chased by dogs, he ran into a washerman's house and hid in a large vat containing blue dye. When he emerged with his coat dyed blue, the animals in the jungle no longer recognized him and were frightened by his appearance. Taking advantage of this, he declared himself king of the jungle. He enjoyed his new status until the day he heard a pack of jackals howling in the distance. True to his jackal nature, he could not help but respond by howling himself. Realizing that they had been fooled, the other animals attacked and killed him. The moral of the story? A person's true nature cannot remain hidden for long. The word jackal comes from the Sanskrit name for this animal, Shrigala, which literally means the howler. How apt! A dinghy is a kind of small boat. It may be a rowboat or have an outboard motor. Dinghies are often carried by larger boats as lifeboats or to transfer people and cargo to and from the port, especially when it's not possible for the larger vessel to come right up to a dock. Some dinghies are designed for sailing as well. The word was adapted into English in the early 19th century from the Bengali dinghy or its Urdu and Hindi equivalents. These original Indian dinghies were mainly rowboats that plied the rivers. The H was added after the G in the English spelling to indicate that dinghy is pronounced with a hard G, not to be confused with dingy, with a soft G, which means drab and gloomy, such as in the sentence, he lived in a dingy flat in a shabby neighborhood. Paulo Coelho said, the boat is safer anchored at the port. But that's not the aim of boats. He would approve of the little Indian dinghy that bravely sailed around the world on the high seas of the English language. Have you heard of patchouli, the exotic sounding fragrance used in perfumes? It is made from the essential oil of a flowering plant of the mint family, which is also called patchouli. It grows in tropical regions of Asia, and you might be surprised to know that its name is derived from the Tamil words Pachai, meaning green, and Ellai, meaning leaf. The essential oil is used in aromatherapy, and the fragrance, with its pleasing musky notes, is an ingredient not only in perfumes, but also in soaps, detergents, cosmetics, candles, and incense. Patchouli oil and incense enjoyed a surge in popularity in 1960s and 70s Europe and America because of the hippie movement. The hippies, some of whom came to India in search of enlightenment, apparently loved the smell of patchouli. Hippies still exist today. They believe in peace, love, and community, and are known to have long hair. If you know any other English words with Indian origins, do write them in the comments section below. I'm the English Nut. Bye for now.